Reading with your kids.
Hey, so good to see you. Come on in. My name is Jedlie, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. As always, we are delighted that you're taking time to be with us today. We're going to be joining us on the line right now from beautiful Los Angeles in California. She is the author of a brand new book called Spot, a C-Pup Survival Guide. Please welcome to the show, Laura Knight. Laura, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much, Jed, for having me on your podcast.
I'm excited to have you here. This is a great children's picture book. The illustrations and the photographs in the book are bright. They're colorful. I know there's something that's just going to absolutely captivate the young people and the families that are reading it together.
Well, that's definitely my intention. I wanted to create a new experience in reading a children's book, show kids a different perspective of what happens out at sea.
Yeah, so give us a little overview of what Spot, a C-Pup Survival Guide is all about, please.
The book has a very simple message, and it's just about being kind to the planet and being kind to each other. It follows the story of a baby sea lion who gets tangled in trash, but fortunately is rescued by humans. And so the book includes illustration on one side and photography on the other side, so that while children are reading the story, they have a more realistic perspective of why it's so important to be aware of our environment, marine animals, and just spread the message about ocean conservation and helping each other, recycling, and protecting our planet.
Mm-hmm. I think this is a really great thing because it not only educates kids, but it also empowers them with the understanding that they can make a difference by making some simple changes in their life, that they can make a difference in the lives of all these sea creatures. And I think that carries over to help them understand that they can make a difference in their own lives and the lives of the people around them.
Absolutely. I actually live in California, as you mentioned, and I thought about when this book was published, would somebody out in the Midwest or somebody who doesn't live near the water would be as interested to kind of include this in their children's library if they just don't really see how they can impact their environment or, what is the relationship between them and the ocean when they live so far away. But it goes beyond that because I think that kids generally have an affinity towards animals, and there is a sense of empathy when I'm reading the book when little Spot, who's the main character, gets tangled, and I could see the kids' eyes light up and almost a sense of worry and how can we help? If you don't necessarily live at the beach, there's things that you can do to help others, help your community. And it's really just another way to engage in conversations between children and parents of, how can we make a difference in the world?
And I love that. And that's one of our big pushes here with the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Obviously, sitting down and reading with your kids, especially your young kids, it helps them in all sorts of ways. It helps develop their vocabulary. It helps them start to read, helps them start to develop a love of reading. But I think the most wonderful benefit is that it begins a conversation between parent and child or caregiver and child that can actually last a lifetime. And if you're looking ahead, you have a 4-year-old right now, a 5-year-old right now, and you're dreading the time when they turn 15 and 16 and you have to talk to them about drugs and alcohol. You start that conversation now by reading a book like Spot and helping the kids understand how their choices make a difference in their lives and in the lives of others.
Exactly. My book, even though it's considered fiction, it's also nonfiction because with every photograph in the book, it includes a little tiny science fact. And there are words in the book,
like the word extinction,
that maybe are a little bit bigger than some children's vocabulary, but that's where I want to have that participation when a child's reading a book to maybe ask their parents, what does that mean? And creating a book that is educational.
That was a brief preview of Spot, the best children's educational book by the Best Book Awards. Laura will be back in just a moment.